Hi guys. Come, let's go sit. Bonjour, je m'appelle Liza Koshy. Oh, sorry. So cultured. Hi everyone, I'm Liza Koshy and I am 26 years old, freshly turned Aries. My first username was ChocoChick31. No, I lied. Chocolate Chick, meaning like chocolate. I'm a little more caramel frappuccino, yes, but I went with chocolate. It was summer, I was darker. But then I also was Kosher Pickle 31. My last name is Koshy, and yeah, I went by Kosher Pickle 31. People call me Kosh, Koshay, and then here they call me Koshy. I'm gonna check my privilege. My very first job ever was posting online. Okay, actually I babysat once and she didn't invite me back, so I didn't do a very good job on my first job. But I'm very, very lucky that I fell into the digital path and started creating at the young age of 17, and it's led me to here. Oh my gosh, it's been 9 years, it's going on 10. I really wanted to be a backup dancer for Beyonce, and that's still my dream. As long as I'm behind her, it counts. Yeah, as a kid, I always wanted to just be a dancer and be on stage and like crumping next to one of my idols, Beyonce, like Janet Jackson, somebody hire me. Still looking forward to it. It was a wild, like it's a bit of a blur because it was 2016. I started creating content on YouTube. 2017, 2018, things really started to take off and I started to, start working with brands and traveling more. I realized it became a full-time career. So my dad told me, go to LA, go move to LA, explore the resources out there. At the age of 19, I took a gap year from college and now it's been gap years. So I guess that was the point when my dad said, go for it. That's when I knew he saw something that I didn't see quite yet. Now I see what he's seeing and boy, the view looks great. My very first video on YouTube ever was the cinnamon challenge. It's a really gross challenge where you eat like a whole spoonful of cinnamon and you try to swallow it. And I remember creating my video on YouTube and I had a glass of milk off to the side. You're not supposed to do that, that's like cheating. So I took the cinnamon and was like, and then I like went off camera, drank the milk and then came back on and was like, I did it, cheated all the way. But that was my very first video I ever uploaded. Yes, I deleted it, you can't find it. My video that I would say revealed me, I think, was the one titled Why I Took a Break, ... It was in the ellipses that we knew it was gonna get dramatic. But it wasn't so much dramatic as it was realistic. At that time, I needed to take a break and like take a step back from constantly creating and go back to creating myself because I was going through, just my early 20s. It was 20 to 21 that I really had a wake-up call to like, what is it that I really love in life and who do I want to spend my time with? I didn't want to go through that online. I wanted to experience it in life. So it's a really important part as a creator to take that break. This video did do very well, but I wanted it to do weller. It was a dollar store music video. I created this whole series called the dollar store series because I'm very passionate about the dollar store. I created this like Frank Sinatra, New York spinoff. Frank Sinatra speaks so fondly of New York and how lovely and amazing it is. And I wanted to do the same thing, but for the dollar store. It was a really weird parody, but it was my first like dip into music. Clearly it's not coming back because this voice ain't coming back anytime soon. But it was really fun to like experiment and sing and like have fun in a studio and rewrite words and have double entendres and double meanings behind all of the lyrics. So it was a fun experiment as a creator. And then I got to do a kick line again. I did it in high school. So it was fun being on a team again and creating and producing as a team. I think that's something I like realized starting from, being a single or singular creator to making it plural and working with teams now. And now I'm acting and hosting and I'm so lucky to do so. But now I'm working with larger production teams that are like families to me. That's what's so exciting, to evolve as a creator and put yourself out there and have new experiences. And now I'm lucky to direct and produce myself. And so putting yourself out there, you never know where you're gonna end up. And today I ended up in Cannes, so maybe you will too. Love me some Ryan Higa, love me some Jenna Marbles. Those are some original content creators, like the original founding fathers and mothers of the internet. Like they created their personalities, their sketches, they wrote them out, they edited them, and like that was so inspiring for a whole generation of creators after them. I like to say burnout is cooking at temperatures that are just not for you, and that's why you burn. You're making a recipe that you think you have to follow, and you do not have to do that. You're moving at a pace that the internet is moving at, and no human can naturally move at the rate or speed the internet does, okay? So reel yourself in, allow yourself to like take life and digest it at a slower pace. You don't have to move as fast as your Twitter feed does or your YouTube feed does. But I will say for myself, that moment of burnout, I think it comes in different varying degrees of burn. And you start to realize, what temperature you really feel comfortable at. I'm a solid 69 to 71 at night. I was thankful for the patience that my audience had at the time where I could take a break and take a step back and breathe and be. But yeah, I think that's a really important. Yeah, this comes from such a privileged place. I'm gonna tie it back, but the best advice I ever got was from Momo. Who's that? Michelle Obama. Yeah. Momo told me, get a life. And that was the best advice that I've ever received. She asked me, how are you? What have you been up to? And I was like, oh, I'm just excited. I'm acting, I'm producing, I'm, hosting every now and then. Life's been good. And she's like, cool, that's not your life, that's your work. Go get a life. And I was like, oh, cool, I got a wake-up call from Momo. Cool. Answered that call, went and got a life, and now have been living it joyfully ever since she looked me in the eye and said, you don't have one yet, go get one. I don't know how I've stayed the quote-unquote relevant on YouTube for 4 years because I uploaded for 2 of them and then stopped uploading consistently, my bad. But I also did create a series called Liza on Demand, so maybe that's why. We had 3 seasons of that really fun show that I literally got so lucky with that family. I have some of my best friends from that show, some of the most respectable creators, writers, directors that I made on that show. 2 of my parents and guiding forces in the industry for me have been Deborah Kaplan and Harry Elfont with their advice and their love and their belief in me. So Liza on Demand, I would say, really kind of allowed me to expand beyond what I was creating at home alone and start working with a team and a family to create 3 seasons of a show that we love so very much, and I'm grateful a lot of people love too. I think that's how, I guess, relevant is, what's the time span of what relevant really is now because of how fast the internet moves. I think, what's relevant in your own life or what's important really in your own life is gonna reflect in your work. So, stay aligned with your morals, stay aligned with, your family if you're close with them, or your chosen family if you're close with them. Like, keep your people around you that keep you grounded. I think my first memory related to cinema, and you can tell by the way my face moves, Jim Carrey, Bruce Almighty. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And also Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin, all of these original physical comedians that had, no sound to work with. Melissa McCarthy, like Kristen Wiig, all the beasts who are amazing at it. Bunch of just comedies. And I would see the reaction in my own living room and the relief that my mom and dad had laughing at the Jim Carreys of the world. And I was like, I want to try something like that. And that's what led me to this career. Oh my God, does so many Melissa McCarthy movies. Love Paul Feig. Paul Feig is a massive director who's incredible and has directed so many Melissa McCarthy movies, and I love Melissa McCarthy with the burning passion of 1,000 suns, so therefore I love him as well, because I know he's creating the environment that she can just lose her shit in. So I love Paul Feig very, very much. This is what I think of people who think that YouTubers, creators shouldn't be in Cannes. I think you need to relax, honey. Or I think you need to start uploading on YouTube because you're mad you're not here and you want to be here. Then why don't you start creating and then be inspired and then come here and be inspired all the more, because creators are creators. Creatives are creatives. There are so many different forms of producing nowadays. Every platform is a new canvas for an artist to express themselves. And Cannes has been a canvas legendary for years of creating and inspiring and premiering all of these really awesome films. And you've seen on YouTube, you've been inspired by videos on YouTube. There's short films on YouTube. There are creators constantly creating in their own ways on YouTube. YouTube isn't just, and even if it was vlogging, that's a form of art, that's a form of documenting, it's a form of creating and making an aesthetic or telling a story. We're all storytellers, and these are stories being told. Those who want to be inspired and are lucky to be invited by the likes of YouTube or Brut, as I am, and are so grateful to be here. I get to be inspired and then go, be empowered to tell my own story. And now I'm thinking like sitting in a seat and I'm wearing this gorgeous gown and watching this amazing movie, and I want to make my own. I want to tell my story. What's my story as my background as a mixed kid? What does that look like? Is it a vlog? Is it a movie? Is it an animation? I don't know, but I'm here to just, you know, cry and feel all the emotions that these artists want me to feel and be inspired to make something new. So I say, if you're here, enjoy it. And if you want to be here, start creating, and maybe you'll end up here too. I'm gonna go with 2 words on this one to describe Can. I would say chain reaction. I think just like what I was saying about inspiring, I think it inspires so many other creatives, actors, directors, producers to like go off and be inspired by all these movies that they're watching and create something new out there. So yeah, I'm lucky. I'm gonna continue my own chain reaction in the ways that I can. Au revoir.